Hey guys, thought I would do a quick video. I've got a few errands to run, so I'm going to just show you how quick and simple applying this Seint makeup that I'm in love with, that it really doesn't take long and it doesn't take extreme makeup knowledge. You don't have to know a lot about it. You can do as little as you want or as much as you want, but I'm going to just kind of do a few of the basic things that I would do. I've already primed my face. I always prime my face with a setting spray. I do it before and after because I'm oily, and this is the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless, and I typically will spray it on my damp perfector sponge, and then I will just pounce it all over my face and then let it dry. And then I also use this Sorme. It's an eyeshadow primer. When I put it on, it just gives a good base. It evens out the coloring in my eyelids. You know, if you have veins or discoloration or whatever, it kind of gives it a blank slate for your eyeshadows. And I used this Maybelline Brow Precise eyebrow pencil. So that's the things that I've already done. I like the skinny eyebrow pencils because I don't have real thick ones, and it lets me be a little bit more precise. I've always loved the Anastasia ones. They're like $21 or maybe $23. I can't remember if you get them, you know, at Ulta or Sephora. But you can get really good, you know, drugstore ones for $6 or $7. And sometimes I just get them off Amazon because it's just as easy now to have it shipped to your house with free shipping. So let's get started. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to do just a little bit of color correcting. Not everybody has to do this. If you've got even skin tones and you don't have trouble areas, now all of our makeup's got color correctors in it, but sometimes if you need a little bit extra, because like I'm not the color mango, this is not my normal color, this orange color, but it helps to cancel out some of the dark spots that I have, or my under eyes. So I'm going to go in and do that. And like I said, you don't have to do this, and I don't always do this if I don't have time. But if I get up in the mornings and I feel like a zombie, this does help. And we have another color in our blush, our lip and cheek line, and it's a blusher that's it's called Frenchie. And it's an orange, and a lot of people use that. Some people can use red, and some people will use yellow. It just kind of depends on what the discoloration or what it is that you're trying to cover. I have pores too, and so I will put this kind of, just a very light kind of a wash, because I'm going to go over this with my main highlight shade in a minute all over. So this is cream based, and like I said, it's Seint Beauty. Formerly known as mascara. But when you use your fingers and it warms up on your fingers with our body temperature, or you put it on your face and it sits, the longer it sits, to me, even the better it looks, because it just kind of melts into your skin. And I am really just barely dabbing my fingers. I'm kind of, I guess, doing more than what I need to as I'm just talking to you and continuing to do it. But I don't have to do all this. But if you have a redness around your nose and stuff, this will help with it. I have a few little areas that I like to kind of cover. And there's some times where I can make things completely disappear if I take the time and stuff. And there's some times I just make things not as noticeable. But I have freckling a lot, and sunspots, dark spots, age spots, you name it. I got it all. So that's really all I'm going to do for that. I'm going to start in with my my main highlight, and if I color match you, this is pretty much what I'm going to suggest right off the bat. It'll look better than this because this is my most favorite lip and cheek color, as you can tell. But I would give you a main highlight, which will be known as your foundation, your brightening highlight, which most people would consider like a concealer, where you want to bring light to the areas, a contour color where you want to sculpt or chisel, or, you know, make things kind of go away or not appear as strong, and then a lip and cheek. I mean, I would always suggest the bronzer because that's my favorite. That's my favorite thing. Sometimes I wear the bronzer and nothing else, especially in the summertime. And then probably also an illuminator. But those are just your choice. The tins are $14 each, And so you would get, if you ordered just this, you would get each 10 at $56. And then if you wanted this compact, you would get a $10 compact credit. And so I think you would get this compact for $5. And so you would get this entire full face, sorry, don't mean to blind you, full face for $61, free shipping, you would add tax. So that's a really good deal. Now our brushes, they're such a good quality. And I would always suggest getting these. Now you can also put it all over your face. Like if you've watched any of my videos before, you can just dot it or streak it or do whatever, and then you can blend it out with this. I'll do a video showing that at some point, but this is really good for picking up any excess product that you have, or using your setting powder, or when I get through with my look, I always go through and just bounce it just to make sure that everything kind of marries together and there's no harsh lines and it blends out. So I'm gonna go in with a detail brush. You can use this for your full face. You can use it just for contour. I have a lot of brushes, but it's because I sell the makeup, but you could really start with 1 or 2 brushes. This is one I would typically tell you to start with because it's the easiest to use. This right here you can use for your blush. You can apply all your highlight shades with it. You can use this for your powder, for your bronzer, to blend everything out. I use this side to blend. I feel like this is just a really good starter kit. And if you go to the bundle section, you can get this and the bronzer for $40, because the little bronzer tan is like $14 as well, and this is $36. So if you add those together, it'd be $50, but in the bundle section, it's $40. So, I mean, that would save you $10 right there, and you could get the brush and only pay $4 more for the bronzer, which is an awesome deal. But today, I'm going to go in and I'm going to use the detail brush because I like this. This is my favorite for the contour, and I'm just going to show you how I use this one. So I'm going to start with my, I did my color correcting with the color Mango, and it's even as I feel it now, you can't really feel it on your skin. If it ever really feels sticky or tacky, you've used too much, or you didn't give enough time if you moisturized your skin before you put it on. Now, moisturizing is a huge step. You need your skin to be hydrated, and you need to make sure that you're exfoliating. No makeup is going to go on well if you don't have a clean base to start with. So, and I'm not talking clean as far as if you have acne or acne scars or those kind of things that we're trying to camouflage, because that's just part of everyday life. We all have it. Sometimes people maybe never have breakouts. Sometimes people have them randomly. Sometimes people keep them. And so that's the great thing about the cream base, is it's just going to take on a second skin and not look like you're just trying to glob a bunch of product on your face to cover it up. It'll really just enhance and try to even out, your skin tones and stuff, and look really natural, as long as you're matched with the right color. So if you're interested, as you're watching this, just comment below, send me a message that you want to be color matched, and I'm new to it, so sometimes it takes me a couple days because I really like to get the feedback and stuff from we've got a great resource team, and so a lot of us new people, even some of the people that are seasoned, may say, hey, what do you guys, any suggestions on this? And so there's so many artists now. I think maybe Seint is up to 10,000, or maybe even a little bit more than that, but so everybody's a good resource. And so it doesn't go out to 10,000 people, but you have small collective groups of maybe, 10 to 30, 40 or whatever. And they're all over, and they'll be like, well, I've got melasma. This is what I use. And so everybody really helps with the problems that they have on saying how they correct it, or I look like I'm that same shade, so this is the things that I do. And so that's really helpful. And then it helps, not only mentor, but it also helps to give kind of guidance and a training, for a lot of us that are starting out. So again, this is my little quad that I would put together, and I'm going to go in, and I've been using the color Amber. I can use probably Sandy, June, Amber, and even Candlelit sometimes. It just depends on, I don't know, really my mood. I can make any of them work. So if you get a product in and you think you don't like it or whatever, you have like a 30-day return window. or I think you can even swap it for 60 days if you just wanted a different color. So I would really try to give the product as much time as you can to get used to it, because sometimes it takes a little practice. And if you have a trouble with it, you're saying, well, I just don't like this, or I'm not doing this, send me a message. We can FaceTime, we can get together if you're local. But there may be some things that you don't realize that you're doing that is hampering how much you could love this makeup. So I did the same thing when I first got it. I didn't know the person that I bought it from, and so when I got it, I was like, oh, I don't like it, so I sent it back. But then the more I watched it, and the more I kept thinking, I don't know why I didn't like that, like I didn't, and found someone local, and they really showed me a few things. I fell in love with it, and I found the better colors that matched, and sometimes it's just about the color. So I'm just going to take this end just right here. It's an oblong kind of shape, and it's not super dense, but it's pretty dense, so it'll pick up product. But I'm just going to tap that into my shade of amber, and I'm just going to go through and just kind of stipple it, almost in a stippling motion, on my face. Sometimes I start with my contour, and sometimes I just kind of use this as an all over. This makeup, like I said, it has color correctors already built into it, and it's really meant so that each color has pigment and coverage, so that you don't have to layer it if you don't choose to. Now, if you've got trouble areas, and I do, like I have the discoloration right here, sometimes I'll still want to go over it with this because it just makes me feel better to have that extra coverage. But it's totally up to you. Sometimes I'll just start with my contour color, and I don't go in and I'll just start with my contour right here. I won't put any under it, but I'm just kind of doing it very light. And you can't tell, but as much, excuse me, I'm trying to get situated here. But I'm not using a lot. It's just really pigmented. So that's one of the troubles and concerns that a lot of people have that they don't realize, is that you just want to think you people want to get it and just swipe it and start putting it on. You need to start very light-handed, and it's buildable, so you can always build it. And another thing, if you're seeing texture and stuff in your skin, then you've probably got the wrong color. And most people think, oh, go lighter so it won't draw as much attention to it, but really it's go darker. Or if you have a dark spot, you need to color correct with a darker color to try to blend it all out, and then you go back over it with your main color, and it just camouflages it a lot better. They have a technique that's called the camo pop bridge, and you would start with a darker color than what your skin would be to camo your areas, and then you give it some pop, and then you just bridge the two together, make them marry, and then you're like, wow, that looks good. So when I'm first putting this on, the color may seem a little off, but the longer, like I said, it sits on your skin and warms up and just kind of melts into your skin, then it starts looking better. So you kind of have to give it just a minute or two, because like when I first started putting it on, it kind of looked like, wow, it's not the best color. But I will also say too, if I put it on too light and make it match my neck more, which is what you're really kind of supposed to do, but if I make it match my neck, I look really washed out, and it doesn't look good, and it shows the texture. So I go in just a little bit probably darker than what I am, and my freckling makes me look darker as well. But then when I go through and I bronze, or if I wanted to, sit down, Dixie, sit. When I'll go in and I start bronzing, then I'll kind of tie it all together so it's not as noticeable. But it really does just take on that second skin and look a lot better. Okay, so that's that. I'm going to go in with my contour. This is Astoria. And I'm going to go right along kind of the very bottom of my cheekbone and kind of pushing up a little bit. I don't go right on my cheekbone, and I don't really go way under it either. I just try to keep it right along the bottom edge of it. And you don't really want to come in any further than where your iris starts. This will kind of just give a slimming effect. If you do it too wide, it'll make you look muddy. And sometimes if I do go too wide, I can always take my main highlight and just do a swoosh right up under it, and it'll clean that up too. But it'll blend out, so I'm not really worried about it right now. And the purpose of doing these contours is to kind of make your face the shape that you want it. You want it to be, you know, flattering to you, what you want to see, what you want to change. And if you want to draw attention somewhere, you highlight it. And if you say, I really don't want the attention to be brought here, because let's say I don't really have a bigger forehead, but it still can look large when I'm pulling my hair back. So I like just to have the little shadows up here. And I just kind of blend it out as I'm going. But it'll all blend in the end too. And then I'll take the edge of this brush. Sometimes I use my fingers, and sometimes I use the smudge brush. But I'm just gonna go on right on kind of the top edge of my nose. You want the lines close together. I mean, not necessarily on top of each other, but if you spread them apart, it will make your nose look wider than what it is. And I sure don't need no help with that. I don't have a super wide one, but she ain't skinny. Now I'm just kind of connected at the bottom. And if you have a crooked nose or a little hump or whatever, I mean, you can work with that. Every nose shape is a little bit different, so you just kind of find what works for you. I'll go in now and I will do just a little bit along my lip. Gives the appearance of a little bit of a fuller lip. And then also, I'll go in and we'll create a line between our jaw and any extra chins you may be carrying with you. This will just give you a little more definition. Okay, so I'm contoured. I'm good to go. I'm going to go in and just kind of blend this out a little bit. Now, you don't want to take away your contour completely, because what's the purpose of doing it if you do that? But you do want it to not be blaring in your face noticeable either, because then everybody knows, oh, well, you kind of just want it to people when they first glance for it to be like, oh, yeah, look at that, look at her cheekbones. And you may be like, I really don't have any cheekbones, or I do, but they're way up under here. I'm going to do just a little bit of blending, and I'll blend upwards because you don't want to drag your face down. Or you may want to. Okay, it's up to you, whatever. Whatever works. And sometimes I forget to do my neck. And I'll see it outside. And I'll glance in the mirror and I'll be like, oh, I forget to blend that. And I'll just get my fingers and it blends right out. It blends so easy. I just always blend down my neck. So, now we're going to go in with a highlight, brightening highlight. And here it is. This is the color, I think it's linen, and it's really bright. But since I went ahead and color corrected and did my the amber all over, it's not going to be as stark white. So I'm just going to kind of stipple right here. I use sunlit a lot. I actually can use several of these colors here too. And I like them all. I'll do just a little bit on my chin. And I usually take my finger and go down the bridge of my nose. And right into middle. And just kind of blend that out. Sometimes I use my perfector sponge on my nose because I tend to overblend is a problem, but yeah, I just don't want any lines. Okay. I look a little more awake, don't I? And if you want more, you can add more. You can also use this end and go in and put, you know, you can do your nose contour with this end. You can do your highlight under this end. Sometimes I prime my lids with this, but I had already primed them. But you can go in and draw whatever you want. And sometimes I'll barely touch the brush and I'll come from the corner of my cheek up to my highlight. Up to my contour, and I'll just drag. And I'm barely touching it in there where you can tell. Just to make a little bit more of a defined line, and then to do some lift. Those are the areas we can always use a little lift. And then I'll go in right on these little whatevers. And sometimes I'll even kind of contour that out a little bit. I'll do a little bit of contour in between that little ridge and then on each side. I like that too. Okay, so for that, I'm gonna go in and the last thing I'm gonna do for this out of this palette is the blush. This is the color Nude, and it looks good on all skin tones. So I'm just pouncing in there a couple times. Not tons of product on there, but you can see it. And then I'm just going to put it right above where I contoured. I want those two to really be seamless together. To look like besties. They belong together. These are really pretty neutral. And it's kind of a pinky brown. But it's just so pretty on lips. It's so pretty on cheeks. You can even use the lip and cheek on the eyes. You can use them as color correctors. It's just crazy everything you can do with them. See, that's a pretty little flush of color. Okay, so that's everything for this compact. So now I'm going to put it down. I'm going to set my brush down too. And I'm going to go in with my bronzer. Again, so this would be something I would suggest if I were color matching you. I like to put my bronzers together. This is the Bella bronzer. I put 2 of them because I swirl it like a crazy lady. And then this right here is a little bit of it's a glow. It's an illuminator, but it is so pretty when I put them all together. So sometimes I do that, especially in the summer. But I'm just gonna kind of go in swirl. And then just everywhere where the sun would naturally hit you, and kind of where you contour. Contour is going to meant to create shadows, whereas the bronze is going to bring you the warmth, the kind of, you know, the sun-kissed look. And this is where I get my neck in with it. I invite my neck to the party. And again, you can get whatever color that you want for your face. If you didn't want to have the bronzer, you don't have to do that. But if I go too light, it just doesn't look good. It shows more the lighter that it is. Oh my gosh, can y'all even hear my dog over here snoring? She's on the floor and she sounds like she's sawing logs. Okay. So now I'm good to go. I will go in now with, actually, I'm gonna get my sponge and I'm just gonna pounce around really quickly. And pick up any excess product. And sometimes I set with a powder and sometimes I don't. It depends on if I want to have a little bit of glow. Because I don't mind it sometimes. I don't mind having a little bit of glow. Dewiness. But now when I feel my face, I don't feel tacky, I don't feel sticky, I don't have tons. But now you got to be careful though, because when you do use an illuminator, or you use some of our blushes are glossy, let's see, like some are considered mattes, some of them are considered a semi-gloss, and then some are straight up gloss. And those glosses will be sticky, but some of the colors will be, when they're glossy, you'll feel those too. So don't confuse that with tackiness, because it is a gloss, so it's going to feel a little bit different. And some people do not like, I don't know, something around my face. Some people do not like that texture, and if you don't worry about it, but they are great on the lips too. But we have several matte shades that are beautiful. So once I've done that, I would typically go in with my translucent powder if I wanted to. I use the Thrive Cosmetics. I just use my damp perfector in that, put just a little bit on it, and I just put it in the areas that I get oily and that I want to set. This makeup, with it being cream, you can still manipulate it, push it around, do whatever you want to, because until you set it and lock it in place, you can still, whoops, I made a mistake, let me do this. But once you set it, it shouldn't budge and you know, stay where you put it. But again, if you don't even set it, because some people don't, I don't always, and I'm an oily person, but I find that using the setting powder the setting spray before and after help. And then I like this because I don't want it to be completely matte. If you wanted a matte look, just leave it, you're good there. We also have a setting spray, it's called Stay Spray. I've not used it because I'm just in love with this, and it costs a lot of money, so until I get through with that bottle, I won't buy anymore. But sometimes I end up spraying that on my sponge and putting it on too. So and that's it for my foundation part of the routine. We'll do eyes really quick. I'm gonna do something just super simple. I'm gonna use the eyeshadow brush, and then here's a little palette that I put together of what I'm going to use. This is Soulmate. I think that's Rome. This is Bend and Snap, and this is Ken. And this is a little tile. It's kind of a little spongy material, but if you went through and you put this color on, and you say, oh, this is bright, and you don't want to transfer that color to another one that you're going to, you just swap your brush in this, and it just cleans that product off. Isn't that neat? Because these are magnetic little tins, and they pop right in, pop right out. So, I've got a bigger palette. It's got a lot more colors in it, but for the underwhelming factor, so that it doesn't look like, what do? I just put them in this so we could only see what we got. I'm going to start with the color Rome, and I'm just going to put that all over my eye. This is a shimmer color. And a lot of people say when you're mature and when you have mature eyes, stay away from the shimmers. And you know what? Do what you want to do and what you like and what looks good to you. But some of these shimmers are wow, and they don't look that great on like my eyes, but some of them are very subtle shimmers, like this one right here, because you would look at that and it doesn't really look like a shimmer. And it's pretty, and then I like it because it even kind of gives me that highlight to my brow bone that I so desperately love. Now I'm going to go in with the color Bend and Snap. So kind of a purpley, not really silver, I don't know how you would describe it, but I'm going to put that in and use that kind of as a crease color. I mean, it really is pretty. Nothing fancy here. And you could right there, like it is, I'm gonna actually put that on my lid too. You could leave that just like that and be done. If you wanted to. But we're gonna do a little extra. I'm gonna go in with the color Soulmate. And I'm gonna tap it on my finger. And I mean really tap lightly. Can you just barely see that? And I'm gonna put it on, not my entire lid, but probably just the inner half. And then you can even tap it in the corner a little bit. Because it's a really pretty color. If you ever get too much in there, sometimes people put it in there and it's like, it could land in an airplane. And if that's what you like, that's fine. But if you don't, just mute it down. Use a clean finger and just kind of, you know, wipe it down a little bit. Okay. So see, that's not even really that crazy. It's very light. But now if I got my finger and really rubbed it in there and put it down there, it's got some serious bling to it. And then the last thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to take this color Ken, and it's a really pretty, kind of a deep aubergine, kind of a purple. And I'm going to go in just a little bit on my outer crease. Again, I am being very light-handed just because I want to see a little bit of this color, but it's, you know, we're not going for a nighttime look here. But if you want to go to Walmart or the Piggly Wiggly and have you a dramatic nighttime look and it be 9 o'clock in the morning, I hope I see you. Because I'm going to say, dang girl, I need some tips. Okay, that's it. And see, it's not even, it's not that crazy on my eyes. But look, if I use my finger, I could make it be a whole lot darker. But I didn't. I just used a very light hand because I just love that color and I want to see it, but I don't want it to be, you know, too crazy. So I went to the other side of the brush and I'm just going to kind of go right up under my lower lash. I'm being very light-handed with that too. That's it. I'll go for just a couple more things to top off. I used the Thrive Brightening Eye Brightener in the color Stella. And I'll put that in my waterline. And this will just kind of wake up those tired eyes, or if your eyes look red, just brings a little bit of brightness there too, and youthfulness. See, I already look 10 years younger, watch out. And then I'm going to go in with this Extra Last. It's by Pharmacy. It's a gel liner, and it's in the color, I don't know what 05 is, but it's a purple, because I am apparently still stuck in the 80s. Is that what they did, color eyeliners back then? I don't know, but I love a little bit of a color. It ain't got to be, you know, electric blue. There, Deborah Gibson, as she likes to be called now. But, or is that Electric Youth? But I do love just a little bit of color. I like black too. Look, I ain't going to discriminate. I like all colors. I am going to use whatever I have, probably in my hand at the time, but I really stick to the green, it's purple, and the black. And I've had navy before. I really like navy too. Okay. And I'm going to use this Pharmacy. It's Extreme Curl. My cousin sells Pharmacy, so I use a lot of the stuff that we don't have. But now you could use some of our stuff, like the eyebrow. We have, people use the cream contours for their eyebrows. We also have colors that are really good that you, if you like powders, that you can use for your eyebrows. I just prefer a pencil. And so Seint doesn't have mascara. They don't have eyebrow pencils. they don't have glosses. They have lip conditioners, but it's not like a gloss. Now, you could use a lip and cheek that's a gloss, but another thing that I really love about this brand is that with me being a seller, the person who founded the company was like, hey, if you like another product better, you use another product. You know, we want everybody in this industry to thrive and survive. And so they're not going to hate on you for not using, you know, something that they have. And I think that's really neat, because some people be like, no, you can only use our stuff. But they're not like that. Okay, so I'm going to go probably with just a little bit of, let me do a little bit of color on my lips. I'm going to go in with this CoverGirl. It's cream, tempting toffee. Just in a nude. And then I'm going to go over with this Too Faced lip injection. I had another one, a lip plumper that I used from Pharmacy too, but I think I keep it in my car because I just like to apparently make my lips sting and feel plumped all the time. But and I'll just put this on. There we go. Now see, it's been 36 minutes, which is a long time. If I'm not talking and I just do it, you know, really quick, I can usually do 10 or 15 minutes. I mean, I can do as little as probably 5 if I do bare minimum and just do a quick swiping motion. And sometimes if I'm going out the door, I may put on my mascara first if I'm not going to wear any eyeshadow, and I will do my, you know, war stripes everywhere, dotted around, and then I'll just grab a brush and then I'll blend, or I'll carry some of my stuff with in the car, because you can when it's compacts. When you use compacts, you just carry what you want. And I completely forgot to do an illuminator. The world may end. I'm gonna do a real quick pearl. This is such a pretty color that it really doesn't, I mean, look, it really doesn't just draw, you know, your attention to it, because it's so subtle and it's cream and it doesn't set in the lines. But when you kind of move your see, I mean, you can just see it, and then you can just blend it in, but it's such a natural, healthy looking glow, and it really is just mimics to me youth, right? Maybe we should name this, instead of pearl, as Ponce de Leon, because it's the little fountain of youth. But you could you know, put it on your Cupid's bow too. But yeah, so that's it. If you're interested, like I said, just shoot me a message. It can be a private message, or just comment below that you want a color match, and I would be glad to help you out. This really is such good makeup, and I mean, with such an easy, no hassle return policy and free shipping. I mean, and it's affordable. So it's something that you should really try. And if you don't like it, send it back. But anyway, thanks for hanging with me again today, guys. See you later.